How does it feel to have your son ask you, Mom, you're working so hard, but what are you doing for the world? For Olesya Kyrylchuk, it was a moment of truth that demanded a decision. Olesya today shares defining moments in her life.
I wanted to cry and shout and say, stop, we have war in Ukraine.
And why she started a project to restore working to soldiers who have been gravely injured from the war.
Wow, 300,000 euros, it's a big amount of money. How can I do that?
Now, Olesya, we want to talk about the war in Ukraine and your experience of how you were in a shopping mall when the war broke out.
It's quite a painful story for me. It was in 2014. It was a hard time when our people were struggling for better life. And we had a change of the president. Actually, our president ran away from the country because he was scared to stay, as we had a lot of power, like people power on Maidan. Probably you have heard about that in 2014. And then everyone thought that it is the end, the revolution is over. We had like three months of struggle on the main square of Ukraine, and we were defending our rights to become a part of Europe, not to be a part of Russia. However, we thought that we already won the battle, but it was not so, because one day I was in the shopping mall, and then I was reading a news that Russian troops invaded Ukraine. I was standing in a shopping mall, and it was like, like a stop cadre, because I was standing there, people were moving, people were laughing, people were eating, they were just enjoying life, and I was like in the isolation, feeling myself like I wanted to cry and shout and say, stop talking, stop smiling, we have war in Ukraine. And I was going home, and I was crying all way long. It's difficult to talk about war when you do not experience that.
Yes.
When I have not experienced it earlier, I thought, okay, war is war. Yes, it's pity. Yes, we lose people and we lose life. But when it is connected with your country, it's much different. And especially when I was at home, and one day someone called at the door, and I opened the door, and they said, okay, here is a document that your son should be in this military office, you should be registered there. And then my heart was down, because I understand that he is only 16, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if war continues, then he can be taken, and he will need to go there as well. And my son is 16 now, but other sons, they're 20, 21 and more.
Yeah.
And they are called to army, to serve the army, and they need to defend our country, our Ukraine. And it was so painful for me as a mother.
Wow.
And it was so painful for me as a wife, because the same day my husband also got this document to come to the military office. So it was a turning moment for me as well, to understand that war is the worst thing in the world, because it's not you who decide to give up your life, it's someone somewhere not connected to your life, but can take it away. So
tell me a bit more about these injured veterans and what you've done till date.
Yes, and I started to cooperate with the charity fund and with the Neurorehabilitation clinic, NODUS, here in Ukraine. This is the only clinic that helped, it's a medical center, a specialized one with a high quality care, who helped those who had severe injuries at the war. And I started to cooperate with them, and one day I got up and thought, okay, so I see these soldiers and I see their mothers, I see their sisters, I see their daughters. And what if we can connect women, especially from this business world, and say, okay, let's connect with mothers, let's connect with the sisters and help them and support them by providing an opportunity for their son or husband or brothers get up from the wheelchair. So what if we buy a specialized equipment, robotic equipment that helps to restore the gait so that people can walk? What if we gather 300 people, because the cost of the equipment is 300,000 euros, sorry. And what if we gather these people, everyone will donate 1,000 euro, and then we can buy this equipment. We will find 300 women in Ukraine to support that. And then, together with the charity fund director, we started to roll out this project. And you know, at the beginning it was like, wow, 300,000 euros, it's a big amount of money. How can I do that? And you know, I started to write my friends in HR. First of all, the focus was on my colleagues from companies who are in HR field, and I just gave them very simple description of the project, saying, here what we have, here what we would like to have, and here is the idea, would you like to support? And they said, well, yes, it's very important. It was like 5th year of the war in Ukraine, because it started in 2014, and they said, yes, we still would like to support those who were injured because they suffered for us. Now we have this peaceful sky, and our kids are going to school and they are healthy and wealthy because they committed their health to our welfare. So yes. So I contacted my friends and we started to go to different conferences promoting this idea of connecting 300 people. We negotiated with that company that they can give us opportunity to pay in parts, not all 300,000 euros at once. So we divided these payments, and now we have already paid the biggest part of that. And we have already this equipment in Ukraine since February. There are 3 soldiers who already went through this rehabilitation using this equipment, and we are hoping that soon more and more soldiers will have possibility to get up from their wheelchairs and restore their gait, and they will be able to walk again.
So your goal is 300 women. How many women are involved currently?
We have around 80 women at the moment and 11 companies that supported our project, because they see that this is a live project. I mean, it's a very unique one for Ukraine, because you would never find that women connecting with each other can produce such a result. I mean, can get the result that we have bought this equipment, unique ones. There is no more such kind of equipment here in Ukraine.
So we're moving on to you starting a Playback Theater that became the only all-women theater in Ukraine. How did you start this by chance again?
One of my friends invited me to the performance of Playback Theater, and I said, what is Playback Theater? She said, just come and see. And I came, and I fell in love immediately, because Playback Theater was born as a movement, I would say, or as an art in 1975, actually the year when I was born. And the idea was that why should we play something that is written already if everyone on this earth has a story? What if we play the story of every human being who comes to our performance, and we play it back we show the story and say that your story matters, your story is valued, and your story deserves to be shown on a stage. So I like this approach, and I said, okay, can I try to be the actress? They said, yes, please join our theater.
Wow.
And then I started to come to these rehearsals with the group, and I had a probation period there as well, so that I could understand if I can play well. And I didn't play well, speaking frankly. I remember my first performance, and I invited my son, and after that he said, Mom, you are on such a high position, you are such a remarkable woman, and you are doing this. And I thought, well, maybe I am not so good, but I like it so much that I will continue.
That's a brave one.
So now it's already 8 years that I'm doing this acting in Playback Theater, and we had a lot of interesting projects. We are a theater with women only. It happened by coincidence, I would say. We do it mostly for ourselves, but when we do it for ourselves, we can give more to those who come and would like to see us on stage.
And well done for making that successful. So Olesya, we're going to talk about your relationship. I know that you're married for 20 years and the pain of losing that relationship. Tell me about all of that.
Well, it's not easy to talk about that, because when I got married, I thought it's for the end of my life. Therefore, it is painful. At the same time, I understand that we are changing throughout the life, and as we change, our environment also could not be suitable anymore to accept us changed. So if I cannot change the environment, probably I need to step out of that environment and be true to myself and trust myself that I can survive even if I got used to be in the other conditions. So it was a turning moment for me to grow as a person as well, to understand that something is over, and at the same time to open door to something new. And I like how I look now, I like how I feel now, I like how I see the world now. I mean, what was in the past, it was beautiful. I mean, it was good relations. We have raised a child, and I'm thankful for my past, and I'm thankful for my present, for what I have, who I am, and I'm looking forward to the future.
So I want to talk about growing up and the inner critic. So things like imposter syndrome, at which point any of this influenced or didn't influence you, not feeling good enough, not feeling accepted. Did you experience any of that? And if you did, how did you overcome it?
Yes, I experienced it a lot, and I do experience it now. I found for myself, I found it very nourishing to work with a coach and to work with a psychotherapist. It gave me a more understanding on my fears, and now I understand that if I have these fears, then I cannot love, because it goes ahead of love. And if I understand my fears and I say thank you to them and say, I'm grown up, I don't need you anymore, then I can love more, I can see the world better, I start seeing the reality. And this is what I liked a lot, because imposter syndrome is about fear, and it's not about us, it's just about our imagination that we are not good enough. But we are already good enough. If we exist, if we were born, then we are good enough already. So this is something that I have learned. And even if I make mistakes, well, okay, I'm ready to accept these mistakes and maybe learn from them, not to repeat them in the future. What is more important for me, to trust life not to trust the flow of life.
But now let's talk about the future goals. What does the future hold for Olesya?
We do not have tomorrow. We have to live today. Yes, I do some steps in order to try living in other country because of my career move. I am looking forward to relocation to Asia. However, I had to relocate like 2 years ago and it didn't happen still because of COVID-19. So I'm thinking, well, if it is my road, if it is what I'm building, I will be there one day. If it is not my road, then it's fine as well. So it's not easy to talk about the future. However, what I like is that I see myself there, somewhere there in the future, and it inspires me. Even if it will be unexpected future, I am curious, because of this flow of life, because of this trust to life. I am curious what is going. The biggest challenge for me is to continue developing myself, I would say. I do not want to be in the point when I will be sitting and saying, okay, I have already achieved a lot, now I can just sit and enjoy. It's something which I do not want to experience. I mean, when I'm tired, definitely I would like to have some rest. However, I am thirsty or I'm hungry for development, for having an opportunity to show myself to the world and having a courage to show myself to the world. And the second one is even more important because we may have a lot of talents inside, but we may not have enough courage to show them to others and to the world. So this is what is challenging for me, and this from the other side is very much encouraging me to look into the future with open eyes and with a hope.
Now, as a community, Olesya, how can we help you?
My ask for the community will be to remember about the war in Ukraine and remember that how many women suffered because of war throughout the world, but in Ukraine in particular. That if we can support these women in any country and if we can stay connected with them, connected with their pain, I think this is something that we can bring together as a community. And also, I would be glad to stay connected with everyone who will be featured in your conversations, and definitely have a community outside of the network, because we are women of the world. So, and everyone is incredible.
So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you in the next Incredible Everyday Woman series. Bye bye.